Go ahead and start now. Welcome to Warrior Class.
Well, the teachers will pass.
And you will too if you pass. All right. We're in episode 33, 2 3s.
How y'all doing?
We're dealing with the gun laws in your state. Omi Niki will be joining us soon. Right now, some ninjas, they took her family hostage. And so now she is going to take those ninjas out.
And she'll be right with us.
She'll be right with us after. I don't know if she wants me to tell it, but
that's her personal business.
I mean, yeah. But you know,
y'all our family, so we're gonna let y'all know what's really happening.
Right. And so she'll be as soon as she get done. If you see her energy's a little, off or whatever, that's because all that killing.
That'll do it to you.
That'll do it to you, man. All right, so we're gonna get into
some news.
Yeah, the news you can use.
All right, so one is two pieces of news, a statistic, and I'm sure that a lot of y'all seen what happened. Greetings, everybody. Peace. Who's that?
Shaky Baby. All right.
Anthony Pickett.
All right, Shaky. Anthony Pickett, peace, and the folks lurking out. Please just go ahead and mash that like button right now.
Please mash the like button. Please share. Let folks know on your social media. You can share, copy paste the link, and let folks know that this is Warrior Class. So I guess a lot of people seen what happened in Atlanta. Was it 2 nights ago? Excuse me, the night before last. Heard y'all got Vaughn and Belzoni roots. What is that?
Heard y'all got Vaughn and Belzoni root. Yeah, so my grandma, goodness. My father's from Vaughn, Mississippi.
Oh, okay, right.
And
right,
I think
right.
Omi Niki's family from Belzoni.
That's right. That is correct.
Yes. So yes, Shake It Baby, you're right.
Yep, that too. So
now is that a man or I can't tell.
James.
But no, Shaky Baby.
Oh, okay.
Because I won't be calling you Shaky Baby. That sounds like somebody that dance at the club down the street. I won't be calling you that. No, I'm just messing with you.
Is it shake or chic?
It's shake. So
okay.
People will say chic, that word, but that shake, like shake ante Joe.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
Although I think here he spells this with a C, but that's shake. Like the sheikhs in Arabia.
Right. Fun fact: I've known that name since I was 16 and never pronounced it because I knew.
Everybody say chic.
Right.
There's a song about something, the Sheikah, the burning sands.
Oh, okay.
No, not. The freak say chic. That's CIC. Yeah, no, that's a different chic.
Okay.
All right, chic. That's chic. That's the proper word for drip.
Oh, Sherlyn Cloud, peace to you. We got some new faces up there, Tay.
Now, Sherlyn been around for a minute.
Okay.
And all right, Tay, peace. Grateful for today's topic because I hope to purchase my first firearm soon. Okay, yeah, good.
Good for you. So, in the news, I don't know, y'all probably heard the night before last, you had a shooting at a bowling alley over.
Before you go into that, hey, Omi Niki, you finished the ninjas off? Cool. All right. Yep. Before you go into that, just so you know, that's my cousin. That's my wife's second cousin.
That passed?
Yes, she was just over to the house last night.
Wow.
About this, what he's about to talk about. Yeah.
And now you just reminded me, I got to send condolences to one of my friends, Matt Haynes. His sister, who was security at a club in Wilmington, was just shot and killed by some woman who was looking for a boyfriend at the club and was trying to get in without paying. I forgot. I don't really know the situation, but she was just trying to get in. And the lady, his sister was like, "I can't let you get in." She went back, got a gunshot, the lady in the face, and killed her. So, condolences to Matt Haynes' family. Now, so what happened the night before last is it was an argument over a bowling ball. So from what they say, and it spilled into the parking lot, and the woman was shot and killed. And the reason I wanted to bring that up is because the statistics in Atlanta is 42% of all gun shootings that's happened in the past, I think, two years, which would be COVID, have been arguments from people that don't know each other.
So first, let me say the dude was a punk bitch.
Definitely.
This a man. If I showed you a picture of my cousin, she is about Ominiki's size, maybe small. She's more like Ogunlewa size.
Wow.
So it wasn't like she was a physical threat to this chump.
Right.
And still not clear about what happened with the bowling ball. I think maybe she had taken the ball to use, and it was his ball that he wanted to use. I think it went to that, and it turned to death.
So these people didn't know each other.
They didn't know each other. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. It would have been. I mean, that would have been 10 times as worse if you actually knew the person you was getting.
No, they didn't know each other. And so
it's crazy. That's just.
He wanted that ball. She's like, no. And then they get into an argument. They getting ready to leave. They getting in the car, and he started firing off.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And so what I was saying is, they were saying 42% of the gun shootings in Atlanta are stemming from arguments between people that don't know each other. So I just want that to be something that we can use and think about when you're out here in the world and you get into it with somebody. That shouldn't even be happening, you know what I'm saying, to that extent. But it does, you know what I'm saying? I was recently in a slight little altercation that could have went a different way.
Okay, so somebody said, "What city are you in?" We're in Atlanta,
right?
We're going to be dealing with gun laws throughout the country because, and glad that Ominiki came in because she goes first because we're going west to east. But we're going to be dealing with the gun laws going across. But one thing about knowing the laws is one thing. That's so you don't get yourself into trouble on a good day.
Right.
But if shit falls down, what does law mean? And I'll just leave it at that. So get yourself a firearm. Don't tell me about so-and-so. It's hard to get fire, blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying, get yourself a firearm, but also don't be a cowboy. The one weakness of states where it is so easy to get a gun is fools think that's the end all and be all of self-defense.
Right.
That's just another tool. That's why we call them tools. That's another tool of self-defense. We want you to know it's a tool so your mind doesn't get into this thing like it's a god or it is self-defense. So people, we got them things. Student of mine who have been training for years shocked me when he said, well, Baba, we got them things. And so, using martial arts, what's that's going to do? I said, first of all, gun is another tool in martial arts. Right. So I don't think it's some separate and greater like people used to in the day. You're a martial artist, you become a master, then you become a ninja. Like ninja was just the great.
It's the top.
just foolish. That's you're speaking from ignorance, so you shouldn't speak at all. Because around those who know, and then you get embarrassed or you get emotional, and that turns into those kind of arguments that could lead to death or just lead to enmity between two people who were cool, but now they arguing over something. The person who was ignorant know they were ignorant, didn't know what they were talking about, and refused to humble themselves. But that's another subject. I don't get into those debates with people. You either gonna learn from me or not. I mean, that's where I am with it. You know what I mean?
I do. I get into those debates on social media sometimes.
Yeah, I can't. And I'll tell them, man,
a lot better.
Don't debate them.
He helped me a lot. I was bad at first, y'all. I also want to say happy belated to Dr. Frances Cress Wilson. Her birthday was yesterday. So we always want to celebrate the ancestors. It was definitely Dr. Frances Cress Wilson Day yesterday. So I hope all you out there, y'all remembered her and continue to remember her in the work that she has done as well.
Exactly.
Her work has been prolific, especially I would say definitely since she did it, but in the past few years, these past couple of years, where some people are starting to maybe see a little more. Right. Her information is so valuable.
The ISIS papers really, I think it was maybe in 2003 or something where I first encountered the ISIS papers, and it was really, really eye-opening because a thing about me is I always want to know why. I always want to know why. So I know how these folks behave, but why are they like that? That was a big thing for me. Why are they so? Is they so bent on doing us a certain way? And you read the ISIS papers, and it becomes blatantly clear. And she contributes a lot of her information from Neely Fuller and Dr. Neely Fuller and different people as well. And you can go further back than that and research. But it really opened my eyes to have an understanding of this subconscious need to keep us down that they have, and where it comes from, where it stems from. And just like, so anyway, research the doc if you don't know. I'm sure many of our listeners are really smart. So Tay, I know that's a typo. You said I bought the Osiris papers and realized
oh no, I bought the Osiris papers, and I realized I probably need to read his ISIS papers.
Okay, the Osiris papers is first. Okay, I know what you're talking about. I thought you was calling the ISIS papers Osiris papers. No. Okay, we good. Now, that chicken, the convenience.
Someone said, "That's it, Baba. It's just a tool. Our minds will always be our greatest weapon, no matter what tool we use." Exactly, you're the weapon.
And James Thompson, you're right. The woman in the convenience store that I talked about, that had a gun in her back, and the dude just took it from her. That proves a gun ain't it. That's
right. Just another right. That's not enough. And buying a gun, I hate using guns.
Firearm.
Been from the military. It's just like anyway, but this is my rifle, and then grab your groin. This is my gun. This is for fighting. This is for fun. That's But so it's a firearm. That's important to know. It's a firearm, but because gun means several things, but firearm means one thing. You know what that is, right? But even the military, you don't rely just solely on that gun. That became the tool of the lazy. I don't want to strategize. I don't even want to, like in the dude's case, I don't even want to think. I just want to be emotional or threaten people. I got this gun. Mm-hmm. Certainly don't want to train.
Right. Because
that requires you to strategize, to think, right? And to work out the discipline of it, So don't just buy a gun, train with it. If you're not going to do any other type of training, train with it. And I don't mean go to the range once a year either. Train with what you have. So go to the range once a week if you have a gun. If you're not prepared to do that, don't get one. You don't have to go to I don't do indoor ranges myself. I don't do them for many reasons. We'll talk about that one day. But if you can go to indoor range, that's your thing, or outdoor range, if you can get somebody who's trained to go with you to run some drills with you and things like that, that's good.
A little stress and duress always.
Right. But don't just, and I'm going to tell you about that. We were out shooting at a range, and Balagoon D, he was shooting, he, doing good. And boy, I'm hitting. I said, stood right behind him. Pointed, you remember that? I pointed my rifle over his shoulder. He's not paying attention. He's shooting. Boom! Shot. I said, now hit the target. Missed every one. Because now you're not just shooting at a target, just sitting there waiting. That's like us working technique and you sitting there waiting, right?
Yeah.
That's easy. But if the person's resisting, now you got to put some work in. So now you're under stress and duress. So he's under stress and duress now. Now, don't take your children to the range and shoot behind them unless you're really trained. Because I don't want, child getting jacked up, dipping. He's shot, right. They'll certainly be under stress and duress. You say, now hit the target. They're not going to hit the target. They're not going to hit. They may hit you. They're not going to hit the target. Okay, so don't do that. But if you have somebody who's trained, and they have to really be trained to do that. I know what I'm doing. I wouldn't just, I shot 5 times in my life and just shoot behind the dude. I'd probably F him up. But I said, now shoot. Right. And you got to be, because you're not afraid of what he's going to do either. Right. Some people, unpredictable. You got to be ready to deal with that. So only deal with in that level. I'm just telling you about how stress and duress changes things. So don't just think just because you have a gun. Because that dude who shot and hit my cousin, he shot at all of them. He shot and missed everybody but her. So he didn't know what he was doing. I got shot at. Everybody talks about 50 Cent got shot, 6 times or 9 times or whatever. I think it was 9 times.
Quite a few.
Yeah, no, Tupac got hit 6 times. 5 times by another gun and once by himself. Yeah. But I got shot at. I'm going to the store one night. My son always liked to, he was little then. He's a man now, but always want to go to the store with me. I said, nah, son, you stay. No. I said, you coming to the store? He said, nah, Dad, I want to stay at home. Something about him knew. I said, what? You feeling all right? Yeah, I'm fine. I just want to stay at home. Stay with mama and just relax. And he talking like that. He's like 3. I said, oh, well, shoot, go ahead and relax then. So I'm going to the store. And as I'm walking out of our complex, I would never, unless I was forced to by circumstances, live in an apartment again. I'm not breaking on nobody who lives in an apartment. I'm saying I wouldn't because of this. I'm walking out, and the next day we moved into a house. The next day. It wasn't because of that. We were planning anyway with that. Yeah. So I'm walking, a car, it comes and stops. And I go for my pistol, which ain't there. I wasn't carrying. I didn't even have a knife. I'm just going out to go to the store, really, so I could walk with my son. That was my thing. But I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and go to the store and get myself some juice or whatever. I didn't even have a knife on me, which is really odd for me.
Right.
And because I'd have thrown it. I was slipping that night, but somebody wasn't slipping. Heavens or, whatever. So they shot 6 shots at me. I go down. I'm still reaching because if I had it, I'd have killed all of them, right, in that car. And so none of them hit me, and they drove off, laughing. I'm like, it's funny that you were trying to kill somebody. So then, unless they're really good and just trying to scare me, which makes no sense at all. So as soon as they drove, I took off. And then I called some comrades. And my whole purpose was we find them. But my comrades obviously didn't really want to do nothing because they came with their 2 babies in the back of the car. I said, well, y'all just came to support because y'all don't want to do nothing because we ain't doing nothing with this baby. Just take me to the house. He said, we'll find them. I said, it's all right. They ain't want to do nothing,
The same thing happened to me similar. I don't know if I told y'all the story, but I know I told Bob and them before. In my apartment complex, a guy I didn't even get into the conversation, but he was saying something to me, and I didn't hear him, but to him I could see how it sounded like I'm saying, what you say? And that's what I was doing. I'm on the phone and he's trying to talk to me. He's at the bottom floor. I'm at the 3rd floor. So when I come in, I pass by him and he asked me something, but I didn't hear him. So I keep spiraling up the stairs. But as each flight, he say something. I was like, what'd you say, bro? And he's like, no, never mind. And then he mumbles something. And so I get up to the 3rd. I was like, what'd you say, bro? It's like, man, fuck. I was like, hold up, man. I'm going to come down. So all that sounds like aggression. You know what I'm saying? So I go back downstairs and, I'll go down. You ever went down the stairs with the momentum? So you're going like, I'm going fast down the stairs. I get to the stairs where he's the door right at the staircase. When I'm coming down the stairs, he panics, pull his Glock out. Back then was 7-shot Glock or something like that. Pulls it out because I remember shot all 7 shots, point blank range. It wasn't no further than 5 yards and missed every shot. He had his hand like this shooting. And bop, 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 bop. The last shot, he turned straight. And I'm running to go upstairs to get my pistol. I froze coming down the stairs. I stopped my momentum. I'm freezing. Then I'm getting ready to turn. And the last shot grazed me right in the chest, just like that. As I turned around and went to go get it. And this guy, I mean, he never came back to that apartment.
Although that was close range, not point blank.
Well, not point blank.
Just so you know, point blank, or it doesn't have to be on you, but point blank is within arm distance.
Right.
That's point blank.
Right. Yeah. So this was close range. It was not point blank. My point is,
somebody said shield of protection is around you. Yeah, whatever you want, a shield of protection, the Orisha, the ancestors, Jesus, whatever you want, right? Whatever you want to call it, it was there, and we're thankful.
Very thankful, and that's not the first incident. Man of Tomorrow, welcome to the BPM member.
Yeah, peace, Sugar Booger, Eugene Mason, Ken LaRue, James, everybody.
I want to say manifesto. Excuse me. You're talking about a Mossberg shockwave. That's the
I manifesto. You keep calling him L manifesto. Like he a cartel leader.
Right.
El manifesto.
Mossberg shockwave. That's
the guy got hit
short.
Somebody asked about that.
Yeah, he also said a guy that got hit with a tech 13 times and survived. Good gracious. I know he has.
Greetings, Africans, Ankh in my eye. Yeah.
I just want to say technology, a gun is technology, right? Mm-hmm. And in some cases, technology can be a show of ignorance. You feel like you need the gun because you don't train, you don't know anything else. And when I say a show of ignorance, think about when you go get an EKG and a CAT scan and all this stuff, and a roots doctor look you in your eyes and be like, "Oh yeah, you eating too much wheat bread and you need to stop so and so and so and so and so," just like that. These people couldn't tell you with all the technology they had, because in some cases technology is just a form of ignorance if you don't know the real science. So the real science is self-protection. The technology of a gun ain't gonna hide your ignorance, but so much.
You put up sandbags. Sandbags will block a rifle under 50 caliber.
Okay.
Sandbags will not block an arrow shot from a bow. Just so you know that. So when we're talking technology, all technology has its weaknesses, and there's no technology that's the be all end all.
Bulletproof vest stop a bullet, but you can stab through some of them.
You can stab through all of them, actually. And so yes, a bulletproof vest with a metal shot plate is more dangerous to you than safe to you, because people put the metal shot plate, it's a 1/4-inch steel. They think that this will make me even more safe. Actually, what's happened before is that plate's been hit, boom, the bullet ricochets, goes up through the person's head, kills them. So actually, that's even more dangerous. So some stuff ain't even the greatest thing to have. The police came to my house once on a thing, and also the had of things you gotta know with secure them and all that. They came into the house, they looking around, they saw a bulletproof vest. They scared the bejesus out of them. And that's all I'll say. Saying that police are humans, just so you know. So police experience fear. We know they experience hatred and getting stopped. Another thing by the police, this is dealing with the gun. I just got through training people with the gun. Me and my wife had a disagreement, so I said, I'm going to the drive-in. I went to the drive-in watching the movies. This is why you talk your disagreements out, and you that's it. You don't go up. So she at home, I'm at the drive-in. So as I'm leaving I left the drive-in, I'm on the road on the 285, and it's dark. they don't like it for whatever reason. It's crazy. So it's dark as hell. Police officer stops me, and I had just taught that earlier a workshop on guns. Right. He looks in the car, and the driver's side, the seat, the floor is just full of real guns and training guns. He said, "Excuse me, sir. Why do you have all those guns?" I said, "Oh, I train people to use them and disarm." He said, "You have a nice night." Because he's by himself and he knows, like, damn, he got all that, so he probably got something on him. I'm not trying to find out. I didn't sign up for this. That 40,000 a year ain't enough. I'm out of here, right? So, I'm not saying disrespect the police. I'm not saying, be a tough guy with them. I'm saying don't be shitting your pants because you've encountered the police. Because if you're shitting your pants, if you're scared, you're not prepared to run or do whatever it is you have to do to survive.
When you surrender that power to somebody, unless they have very good character, what are they going to do with that power that you just gave them?
Right.
When you let somebody know you're afraid of them, a lot of times they just capitalize on that, and it feeds them.
And I ask right now, and I'm asking black folks, any white folks out there, I don't want to hear it. We got some sensible white folks that know, but a lot of white folks, they get real defensive about the police.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they never suffered what we've suffered. But I asked black folks, when he said, unless they got good character, have you ever met a cop? I mean, you may have. Educate me. Who has good character? And if it's your father or mother who's a cop, no, they got good character towards you because they love you.
You don't know what they act like when they get
right. So have you all ever had an encounter, I'll say that, with a cop with good character?
Listen, even if you think it was good character, I had pulled out, this is the last, I swear. I had pulled the Cab County. When I don't know what I was riding with 3 dudes. That's what I was doing. I was riding with 3 dudes. The tent was
and we got cops watching, just so you know, because this is dealing with guns. And
right. I'm not gonna say nothing crazy.
And no, I'm just saying I know some out there, just to let you know. Okay.
So the cops stopped me. I don't have any license at the time. So he smelled what he claims to be marijuana in the car. You know what I'm saying? This was over 10, even 20 years. No, this was like in 2005. You know what I'm saying? So back then I was smoking weed and all that stuff. I can say that now. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, he claimed he smelled weed in the car. It was actually a blunt in the ashtray. He seen all this. So he detained me, put me in the car. He's like, "What? Give me your name." I gave him a fake name. Some kind of way he just knew the name I gave him was fake. He just knew it was fake. So he automatically put me in the car and kept me in there. This was the summertime. It was like August. It was like noon. So it was hot. He said, "You ain't gonna tell me your name." He said, "Look, man, as long as you ain't kill nobody, I'm gonna let you go." So I'm like, man, I'm not telling this cop my name. I don't care what he say. This is just a trick. You know what I'm saying? So I give him the fake name. He said, "You sure that's the name you want to give me?" I said, "Yeah, that's my name." He's like, "Okay." Had me cuffed in the back seat, called for another cop, rolled the windows up, and kept the car running. And left me for like 30 minutes in the car. It's about 98 degrees outside. The windows rolled up. He came back. I'm trying to tell you,
So he tortured,
dripping. I thought I was gonna die. When he came back and rolled the window down, I gave him my name, social security, everything. I ran everything down. He's like, "Man, that's all I asked, man. You give me your name." So it came back. There was a warrant for if this wasn't me. Somebody with my exact same name, North Georgia, had like 3 warrants: robbery, assault. He was a bad person, whoever this person was. He said, "Oh, none of these ain't murder. I'm gonna let you go," like I said. Now that could seem like good character to me because he let me go.
Right. Exactly.
But actually, that's even worse.
First of all, he tortured you, so you know you ain't got good character.
Right. Then that's a criminal, a real criminal that does some real ish. It could have been me. You ain't murdered nobody.
Well, somebody used my government when I was arrested. Now I was arrested, of course, on aggravated battery, which is bull too. I didn't have a tool; it was my hand because I'm a martial artist and former SF, former Special Forces. This is written there on my shit. They made it aggravated battery only in Georgia, but that person, my government name, my first name is Adam. I say it's Adam Swan is my government name. Okay. That's uncommon for a black person. It's not a common name, period.
Right.
Adam Swan, with my social security number, has 27 counts of burglary. and so my attorney says, well, he says he didn't do it. I said, man, dude, you better work more than that.
Said he didn't.
I mean, you better do more than that, or this is going to turn into a murder. Just like that. The judge, be quiet. I'm like, I'm talking about him, you. I'm like, I'm not going down for no 27 counts of burglary. I haven't committed one count of burglary. It was crazy, man. But anyway, I'm like, now you say, I done broke somebody's leg or something. You might be right. I'm not going to admit it, but not no burglary. Like, damn, So anyway.
All right, Jerry Ball is in Dr. Ball.
Hey, Dr. Ball. I've had exactly a mixed experience with the police. Black enough to get snatched up, white enough to be let go. hey, there you go. Use what you got. Exactly.
Right. Convenient situations, too.
Exactly. I don't think, batting my eyes and job ain't going to work for me. So,
it don't work for me either.
Really?
I don't believe.
Right. Right. The right cop?
Yeah.
All right, so we're about to get into it. Ominique, we're going to start first. We're going from west to east. So, it's west, it's mountain and central. I'm dealing with that, and then east.
Okay.
So I'm East Coast B. I'm sorry, excuse me.
I am doing Pacific and mountain.
Oh,
but I'm doing them in alphabetical order.
Oh, that's right. You're doing mountain.
Oops. Right. Yeah. So I'm starting off with Alaska. So the questions were, can you shoot someone in your home?
Oh yeah, we have.
Or excuse me, in your driveway. Do you have to disclose whether or not you have a firearm to the police? What sort of permit laws there are, and also if there are any restrictions on the type of ammunition.
We had questions we were supposed to ask?
Oh.
No, she's talking about what they asked.
Oh, okay. All right.
So in Alaska, which just by coincidence is 3% black, that's something else I looked up. There is no duty to retreat, which basically means that if someone doesn't even have to be in your home. If someone is attacking you, you don't have the duty to walk away from them. You can, engage with them basically.
And in fact, their castle doctrine in Alaska, you're talking about?
They have castle doctrine in Alaska.
Yeah. So a lot of states do. Yeah, stand your ground.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what it is.
So stand your ground is a castle doctrine. People. I'm gonna deal with the castle doctrine once we've done these. A lot of times people think castle doctrine means I can't do this. Actually, castle doctrine is made to protect, because it's made by white gun owners. It's made in most states. It actually protects you and gives you a lot of things. Like here in Georgia, the castle doctrine. And those know that you can kill somebody even if they in your driveway, if they sitting in your car smoking a blunt. You can kill that person.
Wow.
But we're getting to that.
I never heard the
term in a minute. Oh yeah. So a lot of people talk about it. But they're confused about what it actually is. They say, "Man, we got that castle doctrine here in so and so. Man, that gets in trouble." They don't understand what castle doctrine is. So we're going to go into that.
I'll be honest with y'all. Before African martial arts training and just getting involved with this podcast, I was never concerned with what the gun. I was never concerned with what the gun laws were. I was concerned with self-protection. Mm-hmm. Now I'm gonna leave it at that. But let's keep going.
All right.
All right.
You
So
keep
let's see.
blooping.
I don't know.
You're talking about the gun laws.
Let
I
us know
know.
if we don't get.
And,
let us know
and I
if we get
said,
cut off.
I said we keep blooping. That's an actual word that I just made up.
It sounds
Blooping.
like a dance.
So blooping, you know, is the screen just goes black for a second. All right.
Let us know if we black out if y'all can't see us on the screen or something
Yes,
goes
please.
wrong.
See, I was just talking about this happened to Dr. Ball
Yeah,
yesterday.
he did just tell me
Everything
about
the
that.
screen was black. He was talking, but the screen was black.
Yeah, they hating.
Yeah, they hate.
They see us rolling.
And then the other question is if you had to disclose to the police whether or not you're carrying a firearm. So that's another thing I'll be answering. So in Alaska, since I just mentioned that, you must tell without being asked if you encounter a police officer. You must let them know whether or not you have a firearm on you. That's in Alaska. There is no permit required for either handguns or long guns in Alaska. There is no permit required to purchase either handguns or long guns. There is no registration required for either. Open carry is allowed for both, and background checks are not required on private gun sales for long guns or for handguns, and that's for the state of Alaska. Also, as I mentioned, there is no duty to retreat in Alaska.
All right.
The next one is Arizona, which is 5% black. There is also no duty to retreat in Arizona.
I lived in Arizona.
Let's see. You must tell if asked by a police officer. You must tell if you have firearms there if they ask you. There is no permit required for handguns or long guns there. There is no requirement to have a permit to purchase either. There is no registration of firearms required for either there. Open carry is allowed there for handguns and long guns. No background check is required for private gun sales in either state, of either kind of firearm. And there is no restriction on magazine sizes in the state of Arizona, which is 5% black.
We get where you're going with this percentage of black people. We know what's going to happen when you get to Arkansas.
In California, which is 6% black, they do have castle doctrine in some form, which, as Baba mentioned, and I was gonna read it.
I'll deal with castle doctrine.
Okay. So they do have castle doctrine. It allows the use of deadly force. They also, allow the use of deadly force. That's California, yes, through either jury decision or jury instruction. So that's just dealing with if you're actually prosecuted for, having killed someone in a certain situation. In California, permits are required for handguns and long guns. Let's see, you are required to have a permit to purchase both. Your registration of firearms is required for both handguns and long guns. Open carry is allowed for both. Long guns and handguns can be open carried in some rural counties in California. Background checks are required for both, and the sales must be handled through a licensed dealer. Background checks are required for private gun sales, but they must be handled through a licensed dealer. And there is magazine restrictions for handguns and long guns. The magazine is limited to 10 rounds, but there was a ban that was blocked in 2017. So basically, it's still up in the air. Moving on to Colorado, which is 4% black. They have a form of castle doctrine as well. They also allow the use of deadly force through jury decision or instruction. For handguns, a permit is required, but for long guns, it is not. To purchase, there is no permit required for either. Registration is not required for either handguns or long guns. There is Open carry is allowed for handguns and long guns with no permit required, but you can't carry in posted areas like Denver, which has a higher Black population than the rest of the state. Background checks are required for private sales of handguns and long guns, and they must be handled through a licensed dealer. And the Colorado Bureau of Investigation must approve the transfer. And there are restrictions of 15 rounds on magazine size for both handguns and long guns. In Hawaii, which is 2% Black, there is a permit required for handguns, but not for long guns. Let's see. You must have a permit to purchase both handguns and long guns. Registration is required for both handguns and long guns. Open carry is allowed for both handguns and long guns. Open carry of long guns is allowed, and no law against there's no law against handguns, but permits are never issued for handguns. That's what my research states. Background checks are required for private gun sales, and as I stated already, they're required to purchase a handgun. Let's see. And there's magazine restrictions on handguns, but not for long guns. There's a 10 round restriction for handguns. I think I might have, oh no, I didn't skip anything. Okay, so for Hawaii, you must tell a police officer without being asked if you encounter one and you have a firearm on you. In Idaho, which is 1% Black, there is no duty to retreat. There is no permit required for handguns or long guns.
Now, quick question: when you say duty to retreat,
yes,
what do you mean?
It means that if you get into an altercation with a person, duty to retreat means that you have to walk away. You have to, if you are able to, you have to walk away from that encounter. But the places that don't have a duty to retreat means that you are not required to walk away from those encounters. I finished Hawaii.
Idaho.
So
that was Idaho.
Right, I'm doing Idaho. So right, they have the no duty to retreat in Idaho. There's no permit required for handguns or long guns, no permit to purchase handguns or long guns, no registration required for handguns or long guns. Open carry is allowed for handguns and long guns with no permit required. There are no background checks required for private gun sales, and there is no restriction on magazine size for handguns or long guns in Idaho, which is 1% Black.
You can do what you want.
And Montana, which is also shockingly 1% Black, it is exactly the same as it was in Idaho. There is no permit required for handguns or long guns, no permit to purchase either, no registration for either. Open carry is allowed for both. No background checks required for private sales, and no magazine restrictions. In Nevada,
here come the Negro,
which is 10% Black, yes, there is no duty to retreat there. A carry permit is required for handguns, not for long guns. A permit is not required for either to purchase. There is no registration required for either. Open carry is allowed for both, but if in a vehicle, it cannot be concealed on your person without a permit. Background checks are required for both on private gun sales, but they're voluntary and up to the seller. and there is no magazine restriction required. So I guess it's not required, it's voluntary, excuse me, as far as the background checks go.
What happened to gun racks and pickup trucks? You remember growing up?
They still got
They
them.
still got 'em.
I've never seen even white folks with gun racks
You
and
go-
they pickups no more.
in Kentucky, that's like part of it's like us wearing underwear.
Really?
Yeah,
I
they're gonna
didn't-
they're gonna have
there used
those
to be a
gun
thing
racks.
in North Carolina and Wilmington, and you always see, and I just never see it, and I don't see it in Georgia either like that. But anyway,
You don't see us with gun racks.
I don't see nobody with
But
guns.
I'm talking about
a lot of white
if
people.
you go to Kentucky,
Yeah.
when we go to Chicago, I'm gonna take you to Kentucky first. And it ain't gonna take long. We just go to Walmart. You see everybody with the gun racks.
Yeah, that was funny, Tay. All right. In New Mexico, moving on to New Mexico, which is 2% black, they do have a form of castle doctrine there. And also, they allow the use of deadly force through jury decision or instruction there. There is a permit required for handguns, but not for long guns. And the permit is only needed for concealed carry. There is no permit required to purchase either handguns or long guns. There is no registration required for either. Open carry is allowed for both. There is no background check required for private gun sales, and there is no magazine restrictions on either.
Yes, James Thompson, duty to retreat sounds very subjective.
Right,
It's the
definitely.
argument you're gonna have.
It's
you
just
can
like
argue
the
that case.
stand your ground laws that when we've tried to use them,
Right.
you know.
it gets wiggly.
Right.
But that's the same. That's duty to retreat. Stand your ground.
Right.
Laws, you can stand your ground. You don't have a duty to retreat.
Right. Now, with the state of Oregon, which is 2% black, they do have castle doctrine as well, and they also allow for the use of deadly force through jury decision or instruction. Let's see. There is a permit required for handguns and long guns. Let's see. There is no permit required to purchase a handgun or a long gun there. Registration of firearms is not required. Open carry is allowed for both. Background checks on private sales are required, and there is no magazine size restriction there. In Utah, which is 1% black, they do have a duty to retreat. Excuse me, no duty to retreat there. There is no permit required for handguns, but for some reason they require them for long guns. Let's see. There is no permit required to purchase. Your registration is not required. Open carry is allowed for both with no permit. Background checks. I might have to check again on. I might look this up while they're going over theirs just to make sure that this is not a mistake on the permit required for long guns, because it doesn't make sense in Utah. Yeah. There's no background check required for private gun sales, and there is no magazine restrictions no magazine restrictions for either kind of firearm. In Washington, which is 4% black, they have castle doctrine, and they also allow for the use of deadly force through jury decision or instruction. Your carry permit is required for a handgun, but not for a long gun. There is not a permit required to purchase. Your handguns are required to be registered, long guns are not. And dealers must report all handgun sales to the police. Open carry is allowed for both with no permit unless the handgun is loaded in a vehicle. Long guns must be unloaded to open carry in a vehicle. Background checks on private gun sales are required, and the sales must be handled through a licensed dealer. There is no magazine restriction required in the state of Washington. And finally, in Wyoming, which is 1% black, They do have castle doctrine. There is no permit required for any resident of the U.S. for handguns or long guns. It's funny that they put it that way. I thought it would say citizen, because it says resident, but I guess you have to be a legal.
No, resident of the U.S.
status to be a resident. I'm thinking that's
of the U.S. Wow. So I can be from here and just go there and
right.
Cop guns.
There is no permit required.
Now, this is where, not Washington?
Wyoming.
Oh, Wyoming. I don't have to go to Wyoming. Although I had a bad encounter in Wyoming, but okay, go ahead.
There is that you had a bad encounter in Wyoming, but many there's only 1% of you there. Everyone else is having a good old time in Wyoming. There is no registration of firearms required for handguns or long guns. Open carry is allowed for any resident of the United States with handguns.
When you had a bad encounter, walk around like, what's up? What's up?
Right.
There is no background check required for private gun sales for either one, and there is no magazine restriction required for either one.
Wow.
So you go cop in Wyoming.
Man, just walking around.
Right.
Yeah, I wish a fool would.
Man, you could
Walk around with
come
the
straight from
bullet gun cross.
Right. I was just thinking that too. That bandana, after that, what is it called? I forget what it's called. Going across your body with all those rifle bullets. That'd be
You walk out
dope.
the house, think you doing something. Everybody have one. Like, what's up, bro? What's up?
It's good to know these things because
I have my
if you carry
A bedazzled gun.
if you are traveling through these places, then you also must know what the laws are there. So it's good to know, even if you aren't staying there. So
it's hard to pass by Wyoming though. You gotta actually, you gotta want to.
Well, see, my encounter there was I stopped for gas coming from Phoenix back to Chicago, and the dude in the station locked the door, and so a couple of trucks pulled in. I said, "Okay, what's going on?"
Oh boy!
And I go into my jacket. They didn't look intimidated. Now I know why, because they all were strapped up too. What you doing? Strap yourself, boy. and one dude gets out and he looks at me and he goes, like this nigga in our place. And then he goes to the door. The dude lets him in. I say, shit, they gonna get me. Out, Jack. Man, yep. I'm like, y'all can keep the money. I'm out because I, use my card. I'm like, well, I'm not even gas up. I'm out.
They was we ain't letting this nigga.
They're like, nigga. Exactly. Now I did mine different, not by. And we should have got together, just timed and allow it. I didn't do mine in alphabetical order. I did mine by ranking them by states that are freer to have firearms, to carry firearms.
I thought about that.
I ranked all of them.
Seemed that was more hard work.
So Alaska was first. Alaska actually is the freest when you deal with Alaska. So the first one on my list is number 6 in free. When I say free or ranking it as 6, I'm talking about you can more easily acquire guns, carry, things of that nature. So the first is Oklahoma. Oklahoma has no waiting period. You buy the gun, you take it. Okay. Wow. It has no background check. Open carry in the state. Concealed carry is called constitutional carry, so you can. You stand your ground. There's castle doctrine law there, so you can stand your ground. So you no duty to retreat. Gun bans, none, of course. Of course, there's none there. Oops.
Which state is that again, Bob?
That's Oklahoma. And no capacity limit on firearms. So that's Oklahoma.
And that's 7% black.
7% black. Yeah, you can share that with us. That was dope that you had that. It'd been nice to let us all know you want to do that.
I got it right here.
All right, cool. So Kentucky is next. We talked about Kentucky, right?
Right.
That's no waiting period to get your guns. Okay. No background check. Open carry. CCW is constitution, which is concealed carry. That's constitutional carry. That means you have to have a permit to carry concealed. Stand your ground. It's the castle doctrine. No gun bans. No capacity limit. Okay.
And then Kentucky is 8% black.
8% black. Okay. Kansas. How black is Kansas?
6%.
6% black. No waiting period. Now 6% black. The key when we're doing that, think about the white is 94% white.
Right. And also it seems like once you start getting up above like the 5%, there's places now you need a permit for a handgun. You know, you don't need it for a long gun, but you need it for a handgun. Once you start getting also,
now I can't wait till I deal with DC.
When there starts to be a major black city, even
Right.
if the state is mostly white. Now then there starts to be
Exactly
some, restrictions.
Yeah, of course. Like Chicago. And
Right,
Chicago is
exactly.
so cold.
Detroit also.
Their laws are in the city, which are called municipalities, are
Right.
different from the laws of the state.
Mhm.
All right. So anyway,
And ordinances, or is that the same thing?
ordinance, yeah.
Okay.
Kansas, no waiting period, no background check, open carry, constitutional carry for concealed, stand your ground. Okay, no gun bans, of course, no capacity limit on your firearm. When we say no capacity limit, that means I could have a Glock 15 or let's see, I can have a Beretta. Once I use a Beretta. I believe they have 8 shots on the SD, and I can have it, but I can have a clip that's got 200 rounds in it.
What's those round clips that Bill? They have
That's a drum.
So that's what it's called. A drum.
And they had the 2 on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those jam a lot. So just so you know, so not
It
to
never looked right to have them.
Yeah, it looks crazy, and they jam a lot. And the idea of a pistol is to be able to pull it quickly. It's concealed if you got the permit for it or whatever. It's good, or you just gotta walk that way. But with that thing on there, you can't.
Yeah, what you gonna do?
It's no longer concealed.
Al Capone,
That's
they
what
want
drive
to
by.
intimidate.
Crazy.
That's to look intimidating.
Right.
Yes. In the days of Al Capone, with the what they call a Tommy gun, which is a 45 semi-automatic rifle. Okay, it can go
That's a
automatic.
good gun.
That had a drum on it, yes, but that also wasn't concealed.
Right, okay.
And that was a nice.
Another for drive-bys, pretty much.
And if you all want to get me a birthday gift, I've long wanted a quote unquote Tommy gun. It's a .45 Thompson rifle.
Donate.
And so donate. I've long wanted one of those. You can donate. You can give firearms as a gift. So don't be shy.
His 50th year of training. This would be
My
a
50th
great
year training.
gift.
Woo, that'd be nice.
Give me one too. He my 50th.
Yeah, just 50th time you ask. Missouri.
Missouri. I'm from Missouri. Why do you used to say I'm from Missouri? You got to show me.
Yeah, I'm the show me
Missouri is
state.
11% black.
Oh yeah, that's over 10%.
But still, no waiting period,
Okay.
no background check. Open carry. Constitutional carry on the concealed. Stand your ground is the castle doctrine law. You can stand your ground. No capacity limit.
What was Kansas? The percentage of black in Kansas?
6.
Okay, I thought it was some more Negroes in Kansas. But good.
But
Texas.
it's the cities.
Right, the
That's
cities
the
will
thing.
have more.
Right. Okay.
Like Kansas City got.
And
Yeah.
if you look into it, Kansas City probably has some restrictive gun laws, just not the rest of the
versus
state.
the rest of Kansas.
Right.
Like, okay, yeah, good
Like
point.
Texas. Now we should have broken down to that. Like
That
black
I
cities.
was just thinking that'd be a good another one
Now-
to do.
Texas. We know no gun law.
Yeah.
No,
my
no,
brother
I don't
Texas.
say no gun law.
No gun law.
I like that. No gun laws is epic. Basically, no background check. Now they have no waiting period, no background check. Now this is interesting. Open carry is yes for long guns and handguns, but you have to have a permit required if you're carrying a shoulder or belt holster. So you can carry the handgun in your pocket or in your waistband, but if you got a belt holster or a shoulder holster, you have to have a permit to carry concealed. It's odd. I don't know.
That is very odd. That's very odd.
In Texas, is 12% black.
12%.
I guess because then the Cowboys, the ones
right. The Cowboys. Well, Cowboys still had holsters.
Yeah, that's what. So the Cowboys got to have the permits. That's funny.
But there are holsters now. You can wear it. I guess that wouldn't really be concealed. You could wear it in the holster on your thigh if you had a long coat.
Yeah,
you don't need the permit. So if you're from Texas, y'all, just so you know, I don't know why you be wearing a long coat. Well, they wear them long Texas Ranger coats.
Yeah, it get cold.
Winter time.
Trench.
I mean, well,
I'm talking about like in the summer. In the summer, I'll be wearing like a long linen jacket.
With the sleeves cut out.
right.
That's smart.
Right, with sleeve cut and
we're doing them by region. So
somebody said press release, Illinois Gov News press release. Okay, we'll do that. Thompson with a drum, exactly. 100 round drum mag. Are they talking about, these? And yes. So 100 round drum mag, them little, double things. But, that big drum like that is even ridiculous for a handgun. All right, so that's Texas. Stand your ground law, no capacity limit. South Dakota. Been to South Dakota.
Wow.
Gonna move there. Loved it.
Really?
Oh yeah, I was gonna live amongst the Native Americans.
2% black.
And it wasn't that's why.
That's why you were gonna move there.
I wasn't gonna move there. Like, I'm tired of us. I gotta get away from us. No, I was gonna move there. They were gonna hire me to teach there.
Okay.
And
that was before you knew the natives was your peoples. I love the message. I love the message.
So, yes, so we have, unlike most blacks who say, it's in my family. We never said it in our family, and actually have it in our family. And anyway, I'm African. All right, so now South Dakota, though, and I like South Dakota. It's just, we need some more. No waiting period. No background check. Open carry. Constitutional carry for concealed. Stand your ground. No capacity limit. Okay. I don't think we got anybody on here from South Dakota. We might. North Dakota. Been there too.
You've been everywhere, man.
3% black.
I've been in every state except for Hawaii and Alaska. Yeah, that's it. And I'm going to Alaska. My wife's like, we're going to Hawaii. I'm like, we're going to Alaska, baby. All right, so North Dakota, no waiting period, no background check. Concealed carry for long guns and handguns, unloaded only during the day. But in the night, you can have the mud loaded up.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And you got to have the permit.
That's purge
After sundown.
After sundown.
Sundown town. That's a
sundown town for real.
Wow.
Constitutional carry, that's concealed, but that's residents only. If you're not a resident, have your gun concealed. They're not playing.
Out where we can see it.
They're not playing. Right. You can have it, but you got to be able to see it though. You may be from Chicago where you can't even carry it in your own state. You carry it here, but just don't have it to see it. Stand your ground within one's vehicle. That's in North Dakota.
Stand your ground within one's vehicle.
Right. Somebody say, hey, give up the car. Oh no.
Oh,
They say give up the car while you packing groceries. You can't stand your ground. You ain't in the vehicle. But what you do is you're packing groceries. You say, "What'd you say, sir?" Get in the car. Say, give up the car. Right.
That's some of the ones that I went over to with the Castle Doctrine extended to cars and workplaces also.
Oh yeah. Some of them have. Yeah. All right. So now, no capacity on your firearms. Alabama. How black is Alabama?
That's on the first
It
page.
sound black.
No,
Alabama.
it's not on the first. It's number 14.
Oh, no.
26%.
Okay, but that's high. That's one of the highest
Yeah.
that we've done so
But it's
far.
also in the South.
Right.
Which is a little lax.
But still, no waiting period, no background check, open carry.
Because the white folks, they're like, look, all these Negro, we need to be ready.
Concealed shall issue to residents only.
Mm.
Now, what that means, shall issue to residents only.
And the people who can afford,
Right,
who
exactly.
can afford to all after you're paying a $500,000 for this gun, also pay additional money to register.
Right.
So who has the money to do that?
Stand your ground is in Alabama. No capacity on those firearms. Tennessee.
16% black.
That is no waiting period, no background check. Concealed.
This makes me want to look in Memphis to see what the laws is right in Memphis. I just wonder.
This really just makes no sense when you look at it, because hold on. So background check. Oh, open carry. Excuse me. I'm doing open carry first. Open carry. Yes, for long guns. So they probably got their racks.
Yeah, they got their gun racks. Tennessee makes sense.
Yes, for long guns. Unloaded though. So you see them, they're unloaded. Should be. I was about to, yeah. Yes, for handguns, but a permit is required to carry it open.
The handgun.
To carry it open, you got to have a permit, right? But to carry it concealed, you got to have a permit, but that's per basis. Tennessee shall issue the permits. They decide who gets the permit, who doesn't.
And who
That's the
can
club.
afford.
Right, who can afford it, right, exactly. Stand your ground is the order of the day. No capacity limit on those magazines for those guns. Mississippi. Hey, somebody asked us earlier about, we got some Biloxi and Vaughn connections here. And so, yeah, so yes.
I enjoy it.
So,
Biloxi.
Mississippi.
What's the population?
37% black.
Oh, yeah, we in there.
All right. No waiting period. That's good with no waiting period. In fact, when I buy
Belzoni, hold on.
Yeah, they said
Shaky
Belzoni. Yeah, they said Belzoni. Yeah.
What you know about Belzoni? Shaky baby. I'm sorry, I'm pronouncing your name wrong.
No, it's Shaky Baby. You got it.
Okay.
You got it.
Or it could be Shaky baby.
No, ain't no Shiki.
Yeah,
We
we
already went through that. It's Shaky. All right. So now, Mississippi. No waiting period. No background check. Open carry, yes, for long guns. Okay. Constitutional carry for concealed. You got to have that permit. Stand your ground. No capacity. Now, Arkansas. Not black.
Oh, excuse me. I'm still thinking about Belzoni.
Banging in Little Rock.
15%.
And
black.
it's Arkansas. I know the ear doctor said Arkansas. It's Arkansas. Okay. That's no waiting period, no background check. Now we finally get to a waiting period in a minute. No background check. Handguns for open carry. Handguns are not allowed except under specific circumstances. So they're more strict.
And that's because
How many blacks now?
they have
Arkansas?
Arkansas is 15% black. Next time we do
With the
this, we have
cities,
to
right.
we have to look at the cities.
Now,
In fact, we're doing on just major black cities.
yeah.
South Dallas.
Handguns not allowed except under specific. All right, dealt with that. And they shall issue a CCW. Okay, that's concealed carry weapon, by the way. Castle Doctrine only. As far as for the castle doctrine, we'll deal with that later. No capacity. They're a little stricter. Okay, that's why it's down on number 25. Iowa. Iowa must acquire a permit. How black are they?
Iowa
So
is
black.
4% black.
4%.
Hmm.
One of my daughters right now lives in Iowa. Hates it. And my grandbaby Tutu, she was like, the only other black folks in Iowa that I've ever seen is my family. And I think it's one other black person at her school, and she said they both hate it. They hate it. So
we need to do a thing about that, about how children going to school, all white, how that affects them.
We have had conversations about that.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I mean, I went to 7 black people in my school when I went to the school for the gifted.
Wow.
And I'll give you the horror stories on that one. So you must acquire a permit, which takes 3 days to go into effect to get a firearm in Iowa. Okay, 3 days for it to go into effect.
And that's
the waiting period
we've gone through.
Right, that's the first one, right?
One state that's like that.
Background check, yes. Permit required for handguns only. Okay. Open carry, yes, for long guns under specific circumstances. And handgun if you have a permit to carry open. CCW, concealed carry weapon, they shall issue under
And Shaky Baby put in.
Issue means that as long as an applicant passes the basic requirements set out by state law, yes, the issuing authority is compelled to issue a permit.
Thank you for that.
Yes, as long as an applicant passes the basic requirements set out by state law. So that by state,
Right.
yeah. One of the requirements is you lighter than this.
All
right.
They might have one of like those poll. What was those tests they used to have people take in order to vote?
Paper bag.
No. But to be able to vote, they had those tests that you had to pass to be able to vote.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. So once
again,
again, we can't take it right.
Right.
All right. No capacity on the firearm once you can get one in Iowa. Nebraska.
5% black.
No waiting period. Background check, yes. Permit required for handguns only. Open carry, yes.
Of course.
CCW shall issue. Once again, that was discussed. Castle doctrine for castle doctrine only. Castle doctrine only. None for capacity limit. Nobody's dealt with gun bans. I don't think that's anywhere in the United States, but I will check to see.
The only gun ban info that I saw was in California, and it was just for magazine size, and it's still been in dispute for like 5 years.
See.
So
Now,
who knows if they're even enforcing it.
Illinois. Is there a waiting period? Yes. 72 hours. 3 days or time required to complete the background check does not apply in certain circumstances. No, that's not right. That's Florida. But Illinois is 72 hours. Full stop. 3 days. They're not playing with you. And how black is Illinois?
Illinois is 14% black.
And that's Chicago.
Several, yes. I mean, Chicago is a large black city here. But there's also some smaller suburbs that have large black populations.
That's Chicagoland.
Right.
All right. So now, and then if you come down further, like East St. Louis, Illinois, things like that. All right. Is there a background check? Yes. Permit required. Yes. You even have to have, like, if you work in security or something like that, you have to have a blue card, which means you've been trained on how to shoot the firearm.
Wow.
Okay.
That's pretty.
Illinois don't play. They're strict, but they're still 29 out of 50 states, so it's much stricter. Okay. And the last is not a state; it's, I think they call it a municipality, Washington, D.C. That's the strictest, but we'll get to that. You have to have a permit to carry in Chicago.
And
You
so,
have to-
Shaky Baby, that answers your question. Yes, the laws are different in Chicago than the rest of the state.
Yes, they are. I'm from Chicago.
I'm kind of from Chicago.
and so even in Chicago, if you shoot somebody in your house and you blow them out the door, like they come in the door, you shoot them and they fall out the doorway, you better run and catch them and pull them in. Because if they fall outside your house, you may have some problems.
Oh, right. Yeah. There's a couple states like that. Put them in the house.
Yeah, you're going to have to. All right, let's see here. Stand your ground in Illinois. They have shall issue for CCW. They do have concealed carry, but you have to, get issued that. Stand your ground law, and then no capacity limit on firearm. Florida, 3 days or the time required to complete a background check. Does not apply in certain circumstances. I have to check into what they mean by that.
15% black, and who knows how many brown.
Right. Or black claiming to be something else.
Right.
There you go.
Waiting period. What we did with that? Background check, none. Open carry, no. No open carry in Florida. CCW shall issue. Stand your ground is the order of the day. No capacity limit on firearms. We're going down more. So that was Florida.
You did Florida?
I just did Florida. No. You supposed to do Florida? I'm sorry.
I'm not mad at you. I ain't mad at you.
Damn, I stole your shine. Damn. You really want to do Florida too. I'm sorry about that. Man, damn. Minnesota. 5 business days. Up to 7, depending on the circumstances for your waiting period. So if you're in Minnesota, you're gonna be waiting for a minute to get that firearm. Okay?
7% black.
No background check. So that's cool. Open carry, no for rifles and shotguns. Yes for handguns. Permit required. Concealed carry weapon. Yes, carry concealed. The state shall issue your ability. Castle doctrine only. And as far as capacity limit, semi-automatic military style assault weapon is what they say. So capacity limit is semi-automatic military style assault weapon. That means you can have typical military style assault weapon. They're talking about AR-15. They're talking AK-47. 20 rounds. For my birthday, some of my students and my wife got together. They got me something, and they got me a magazine with a capacity of like 50 rounds. But they can't carry that if I was in Minnesota. Okay, can't have that.
She really got the info.
Also in Mississippi, a church can set up an armed security force. It is called Mississippi Church Protection Act. Hey, dope. We may have to go to Mississippi, set up a church, set up,
Well, let's find out what the law is in Georgia first before we move.
Well, Georgia, we ain't got to do nothing. You just say Georgia, you can make a whole army.
Right, but hey, we straight already then.
Right, just don't be fucking around in a coalition. Fucking around in a coalition. All right, so now, Louisiana. This ain't yours.
31% black.
Woo! All right. No waiting period. No background check.
Dang.
Yes, open carry. Shall issue for the CCW. Stand your ground. No capacity limit on firearms.
We see what St. Louis has.
But check New Orleans though. Let's see.
Right.
All right, Wisconsin. Oh, Wisconsin. No waiting period. Background check. Open carry, yes. Now, I didn't know that about Wisconsin. All I know about Wisconsin is, well, my older sister went to college there, and then I know, that's where Dungeons and Dragons was made. So I thought they were just some, Dungeons and Dragons playing cats. I didn't think they, they be strapped. They be busted. That's why they don't get into fights. They did Dungeons and Dragons so they don't kill each other. Okay, I got you. Open carry, yes. Shall issue CCW. Now, the Castle Doctrine is stand your ground within one's vehicles. That same way, right? That's interesting. And no capacity limit on your firearm.
In Wisconsin is 6% black.
6% black. Now we're going down to DC. I think it's yours.
DC is mine.
Okay, well, I'll leave it alone. DC is strict as hell. I just want y'all to know that is.
Somebody just said they carry in DC now. James.
Yeah. So I was gonna deal with it. They changing the laws. Y'all snatching my shine. I snatched it. Yeah. So they were talking about changing the law. Have they've changed it already?
Now, if you want to do DC, bro, I ain't gonna stop you. Like, you can go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'll do it also in Mississippi. See, but where'd you see somebody said something about? I don't see it.
Oh, this was further up.
Okay. Boy, you got that memorized, don't you? Man, the power of a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I look away from the screen. I don't remember what you just said at the bottom. You said, "Hi, comrades."
I can't remember. I manifesto instead of El manifesto. So,
well, yeah, All right.
I guess I remember now, but let's see next what happens.
Well, you've been watching like those cartel TV shows. So, El manifesto. All right. So now, so DC, it's not a state, but it is. It's where they need to go
City state.
They need to go and make it a state, but I don't think they're gonna do that. It's too black. They're not gonna make that a state.
Right.
DC, 10 days waiting period. But how black is DC? Do you have that information?
I do have DC somewhere.
They used to call DC Chocolate City. 41% black. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. DC, and it's not a state, and then you got the black folks in this one little part. DC is black as heck. I went to Howard, before I went to Columbia. So just so you know. All right. So I'm familiar with the city. My second sister, they both my older sister. I'm the youngest, but my sister Lisa graduated from Howard. So we were always there anyway. I was there before I even went. Okay, so DC, 10 days waiting period. That's the highest of any other place. Background check, yes, on all sales. They put that there, all sales. Like should it be? But yeah, all sales. Open carry, no. Did somebody say they changed it? DC can conceal carry after you take the gun class. Okay. Right. Yeah. So shall issue for CCW. So after the gun class, obviously. Duty to retreat is there. That's the only place I've read there. I know you read it. Duty to retreat. Got to go. You got to go. You don't matter. You strapped up. You better not wear them bandoleros. You better not wear them. LCAM assault weapons. Capacity. So that's gun bans. No assault weapons. First of all, I don't even know what an assault weapon is. So that can be false. That's some bullshit. When people say assault rifle, dude got mad at me. Because I put up the proof about that there are no assault rifles, they're semi-automatic rifles. Assault rifle was used by the media to make them sound bad, to make their AR-15, AK-47 sound bad. Assault rifle, because assault, I assault you, I hurt you, assault is violence. It's, that's used to provoke a certain emotion. Okay. They're called semi-automatic rifles. And this dude got pissed. You mother effer. You saying you know what we mean, mother effer. I said, you're not media. Dickhead. Boop, and blocked him. Okay. So now, and then I had all my students hit him up with harassing thing. No, I didn't do that.
Yeah, you got the best.
I will do that, though. I got the best. Because if I had said that, everybody would have harassed. Yo, Trump ass fool. Yo, talk about his Hispanic members, all that. I wouldn't do that to him. But if you're listening, Wolfgang, I just say his first name, and he's black.
Whoa.
You listen, Wolfgang. Still,
Ooh.
now
Man,
capacity
got
in who got who I'm heated. Who man, I think I might have to go to the doctor after this now. So in DC, of course they have a capacity limit of 10 rounds. DC is strict, boy.
10 shots, you better make them count.
You better make them count. The only state that's more strict than DC, of course, is one of your states, New York. All right, go ahead and that's it for me. And that's all those. So CCW, just so you know, concealed carry weapons. LCAM, when I said LCAM for DC, that's large capacity ammunition magazines, like I talked about, over 20 rounds. You can't do that. Okay. All right.
Okay, so we'll run through these. We're gonna start with I'm doing the East Coast, the Eastern Standard States. So we start with Connecticut, which
I'm sorry. I said I was gonna deal with DC's thing.
What?
About so DC is not gun friendly, but that may be changing, although the District of Columbia ranks the lowest in our findings. It is important to mention that the general culture in the nation's capital may be changing.
And it's also
I think it has changed. It's being just right. Exactly, and that's why it's been changed. A 2017 court decision struck down a city law that required prospective gun owners to present a compelling good reason to carry a firearm outside their dwelling. So he shot it down in 2017. Wow. It wasn't white enough. Right. It's changing now. So as a result, there have been a significant increase in both the purchase of firearms and the approval of concealed carry permits in the states. In March 2020 alone, more than 4,000 people were given gun permits from the police department. Yeah, the whiter it gets.
Those are people who can afford to, after having purchased a gun, spend additional monies
to get the gun permit.
To get permits and registration and all that.
And that's on that too. I'm sorry, before you get to yours. To have to carry a firearm, just so you know, is not a cheap notion. You got to get the firearm. Don't get a high point. You say, well, it only costs $100. Don't do it. There's a good firearm. It's a rifle that's $100, but you almost can't find them because everybody buys them up, including me. Mosin the Gantz. I'm talking about the Mosin. Okay. The one I'm talking about, that one costs more than $100. The one you're talking about. The Mosin is $99, $99.99. You can't find them, and you can't find them. It's the Russian semi-automatic rifle they used to use for their military as their standard rifle. Russians are tough. But this thing is 7.62 by 41. That means I can shoot through the trunk of a tree and kill you on the other side. Only Russians. As tough as that would be carrying something like that. The kick on that thing alone, but and that's really not semi-automatic. It's bolt action. You fire, you put another bolt, another rifle in the chamber, using the bolt, you fire again. I love it, but it's a bolt action. Now, those are $99 and well worth it. But a high point pistol is not. If you're going to buy a high point, buy a rifle. They make great rifles, horrific pistols. So if you buy a pistol, you're easily talking, if you get a Taurus, okay? You're easily talking $150 at the cheapest. That's if you get a good deal.
No, yeah, that was the past.
So let's say 200, right? That's 200. Then you have to buy a holster. You don't want no cheap old styrofoam holster.
35 to 50.
So you're talking 100 to 200 holster itself.
I'm kind of cheap.
No, okay, well, you go to the cheaper end, let's say 50.
You have to scream.
Because you don't want your job falling out on you either. So, right, you get a good leather holster. But, I prefer you get it custom made to your firearm itself.
Yeah.
But you're going to pay. Yeah. Okay. But so we're talking, so I'll tell you that you should get it like that. But those who can't afford that, you go. and I ain't got a lot of money, but when I do have money, well, it's going to tools I need.
We decide what we're gonna spend our money.
Right, exactly.
Money when it comes to other things.
So you get $200 for the firearm, $50 for the holster. That's $250. You got to get oil to clean it. You got to get your ammo, which is expensive. So do another $100 at least.
At least.
So it's not a cheap notion. And then you go and get a permit.
You want an extra clip?
You do. So that's $45. Let's say $50. You want, so now you want to be able to, in a state where to even carry it, you got to have a permit. So you're paying. To carry concealed, you're paying even more.
We up about $450 already.
Pay for a class.
$455 a class, so that's another $200 or $100, whatever. So you're easily going to pay $500, $600 on the low end.
And that's the real low end, because some
SIGs, a SIG is $1,500. $1,500. That's just for the basic SIG itself. Now, if you want to change out the trigger and things like that, easy. If you want to get me a SIG, you can get me a 357 SIG if you want. For my birthday or for my 50th years of training. You feel like you got nothing to do and you just bored on another Saturday or something. You can give me the 357 SIG with a custom holster to it, and I get the ammo. I know what kind of ammo I want. Just and so that's only gonna run you about $2,500. Now you got I got a bunch of students. They can all pitch in together, and I'm not hinting or nothing. They can all pitch in. They can get me that 357.
If they really wanted to,
right? They really love me like they say they do. Then they can get me that. But you all, if you ain't got nothing else to do, you just bored.
Getting these free lessons,
right?
You're right. Just hey,
you're taking your money, you're making signs on.
And if you're gonna do that, I will even drop my address in your email. Not out here. I will even drop my address. So I drop an address where you can have the firearm sent to, and then I go get it. Okay, because that's how you got to do. By the way. You got to have somebody that has an FFL license where they can they can legally accept your firearm. Like that's why a lot of pawn shops have that.
Right. And
you go and get it. I get mine. A person gets it at their house, and I get it from them. Okay. And I won't name that person, but so look up FFL license. Individuals in your area, and a lot of times they're ranked. Or if you go to, I believe, Cheaper Than Dirt, you can get firearms cheaper than dirt.
Yeah, they got some good firearms.
And they have on there listed for each state the different people with FFL who can accept your tool from them. And so there's some people. Now there's a person in this state, a couple who I know. One of them I wouldn't deal with at all. I wouldn't want them to know what firearms I've got. One of them is extremely knowledgeable. I don't deal with either of them. And the reason why is because they do know me. I don't want everybody to know what I have. I deal with a cat that don't know nothing about me. Even when I go to meet him, he's talking to me and my wife, and my wife's talking, and she's already been giving instructions from me on what to say about me and her, because I don't say much of anything. So, hey man, how you doing? And I sit there.
I think the permit is very James Graham asking how much for a permit. I think it depends on your state.
Depends on your state.
Yeah. I also wanted.
Somebody said, "How black is California?"
Yeah, and I wanted to address him because that's the second time that he's asked. First of all, that's a really good point about having the liability coverage in case you're sued for shooting someone. But Eugene. I didn't go over the background periods. That was not part of my research, unfortunately. California is 6% black, but if you know the history of the gun laws in California, you have to think back to when the Black Panthers decided to take advantage of the open carry that they had back then. That's when the gun laws in California started changing. And that's one of the things that we're speaking to, that when you look at different states, think about Detroit, has a huge Black population, even though the rest of the state may have may have a large white population. Those gun laws start skewing so that they can affect that city that has the large Black population. Right. So you have to think about that. And again, we may do another show where we address that more directly.
There's all types of ordinances, like you were saying, municipals and things they put in place in cities, Black cities, especially like Atlanta. There's so many city ordinances that you don't even realize exist until they want a reason to lock you up. They got stuff about beards and all types of things.
Look, when I first came here, not only was it a law, well, municipality, I don't think it's in the whole state of Georgia, it may have been. Actually, it was a law in Georgia, but not, they were fighting it in Atlanta. But there was a billboard when I first came here 22 years ago. It said, homosexuality is against the law. And then under it said something like sodomy is against the law. Don't do it. It was something like that. Now, I'm a straight male, but I was like, damn, this is cold to make it against the law in the state.
I think they just legalized interracial marriage, like in Alabama, yeah. Because they tried to, for years, they tried to actually, I mean, people are doing it, obviously, but
make laws for everything.
So people don't.
It was embarrassing to them.
But people don't know, right? So say you're driving through 22 years ago, a gay couple, because normally you don't just know them are gay unless they just
right.
quote unquote claiming, right? Let you know, right? So you're driving through, and they together, and they get out the car, and they give each other a kiss. They could be arrested.
Oh yes.
Back 22 years ago, they could have been arrested here in the state of Georgia. So it behooves you, if you move to a place, know their states, and just look up little things
right
in the state.
We're giving you the state laws. Look at your city.
Yes.
Look at the ordinances. It's against the law to walk across a public parking lot in Atlanta if you don't have a car in there. You can be locked up for 24 hours. Now they're not gonna lock
up. And that gives them power too.
Right. And they're not gonna lock up the person with the suit on. That's a way to discriminate against homeless people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you gotta understand, so you gotta know these ordinances. It's important.
And I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
Yes, y'all do.
I know you're going through your thing, but even a few years ago, they supposedly legalized having a certain amount of marijuana in Atlanta.
Right.
But
supposedly.
it's a useless law, because depending on who pulls you over, and if they decide to apply it, they can apply the city law or they can apply the state law.
Oh, and let me say this too. With marijuana, this is dealing with the gun.
Yes, sir.
If you are in a state that marijuana is not legal, and you get the permit, the medical marijuana permit, read, it said you cannot carry a firearm any longer.
In California, they've done that. I believe.
And California, weed is legal, so I don't know if it would still stand, but
I'm not sure. Yeah.
But I'm sure they did originally, because that's what they did here.
Yeah, they did.
People were happy. Man, I can get the medical card. I can smoke my weed. If you get it, you cannot carry a firearm. So just so you know that, don't fall for that trick. Don't fall for that trick. If you were smoking weed yesterday without that card, but you had a firearm, you're probably better off. And that's all I'm going to say.
I'll take the weed charge.
That's all I'm going to say on that. I'm going to be able to carry my firearm.
I heard that.
All right. So.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to run through these quickly. We're not going to keep y'all too much longer. So I'm going to start with Connecticut. So for Connecticut, permits are required for handguns and long guns. Policy shall be issued due to court rulings. I've never seen that, so that's kind of strange. So you got to go to court to get your permit.
Connecticut's 11% black.
Okay, purchase permit required.
So Kalonji, did you hear? Kalonji from Connecticut. So
Oh, okay.
That's why he made that law like that.
Purchase permits are required for both the long gun and the handgun, and it's a 14-day waiting
This
period
Connecticut?
for long guns. Yep, for long guns in Connecticut. I guess
2
they
weeks.
figured ain't no hunting going on. What you need a rifle for? That's what I'm thinking. Registration for both. You know what I'm saying? Sales and serial numbers are recorded. Does not apply for out of state. Open carry, yes, for partial. Yes for the handgun. Partial for the long gun. I don't know what that means. It says
Partial open carry.
Partial open carry. It's like you can halfway have it out.
They can see the stock sticking out of you.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know why you got a rifle down your pants, but hey.
Background check for both on private sales are required. So a background check even on private sales for both of them. And sales must go through a licensed dealer. Magazine restrictions on both are limited to 10 rounds. So it's weird in Connecticut. They got some weird stuff going on, even to the fact where you can carry in your car, but only if you're on the side of the road. You don't have to notify the police officer unless they ask you. So it's a lot of little different things. You can even carry, this is dangerous to me, you can carry your gun in a liquor establishment. So that's asking for some.
Now, let me say on this thing about police ask you have to tell them you have a gun. You ain't got to do nothing but be black, white, or whatever you are and die. That's you ain't got to be nothing, but whatever you are,
I see that
and die.
You got period. They say period with a guy saying period.
Yeah, period. That's hilarious. Anyway, so remember that. Police pull up on you. Our car was broken in. Called the police. Get that report. He comes over. First thing he asks, he walks up real quick, and this to get you in a frantic type of thing, right? He walks up real quick. You got any firearms in the house? I said, no, my goodness, no. Oh my goodness. One, he wasn't getting in my house because my house had nothing to do with what it went on. But two, as soon as he walked in the door, he was like, oh my God. There's no way he could have came in my house. Even if it happened in my house, thanks for saying that, sir. No, you can't come in. So, oh no, I don't give you permission. But you said your house is broken in. Yeah, I can talk you out here.
Right, we just want to make a report.
Right, we want to make because
come inside.
You cannot come inside my house. I would not have had enough time if I had 3 hours to put away all my firearms that sit throughout my house. No, it ain't that bad, but it's
hours.
It's just not that bad, but because I got children. Well, I got one child at home. She's 13. She doesn't mess with the firearms. They're well trained with that. But I ain't taking no chances.
Okay.
I ain't taking no chances. She thinks somebody breaking in. She's been
Yes, Jamie.
So.
Okay, so Delaware, move right along. Permits are required for handguns, not for long guns. Purchase permits are not required for either. So you can go out there and cop. Registered firearms, you don't have to in Delaware. What's the percentage of blacks?
22%.
22%? Oh, man.
Wow.
Open carry, yes. No permit required to open carry.
All right, black folks in Delaware.
Well, Delaware is where you go for your taxes and stuff. They got a lot of different laws in Delaware, a lot of loopholes. Background checks on private sales are required for both of them, and they must be through a licensed dealer, but there's no magazine restriction. So that's the good thing about Delaware. And you don't, like I said, you don't have to notify the officer when stopped. You can carry, there's an open carry permit, and you can carry again in liquor establishment, and no constitutional carry. So for them. So moving right along from there, did you do Indiana? I feel like I heard Indiana. Okay, we haven't heard Indiana yet. So in Indiana, there is a carry permit required for handguns, but not for long guns, and a purchase permit is not required for either. You don't have to register either one of them. You don't need a permit to have your handguns or your long guns. It's open carry. I'm sorry, open carry is allowed with no permit required and no background check. and no magazine restriction. Indiana is
10% black.
Okay,
they wild. They doing it up in Indiana.
They ain't got open carry though, do they?
Yeah, it's no open carry for both, and no permit required to open carry.
Oh, okay, no permit.
Yeah. So they're getting it on in Indiana.
Okay,
So next we're gonna move right
and
along.
that's right by Illinois.
Mhm. But close, but no cigar when it comes.
Close
to
with no cigar, exactly.
So we go to Maine, and carry permit required. No, for both of them, you don't need any permit required for the handgun or the long gun.
Where's this?
This is in Maine. You don't need any purchase permit required for either. You don't have to register either. There's an open carry allowed with no permits. Background checks for private sales are not required for either one, and there's no. This is what they call a 5-star rating state when it comes to gun laws. Maine. There's no restrictions basically on anything. There's no magazine restriction, no background check. Open carry is allowed, no registration, no permits required. I mean, hey, I wonder what the crime rate is up in Maine, because it seems like it's pretty loose up in there.
Maine is 2% black. Not that that's related to the crime rate.
Okay.
Throwing that out.
So we're gonna go 2% black. Wow, no wonder they let you do whatever you want there. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so moving right along to Maryland, which I always thought was just very black, just because I don't know, just seemed like Maryland.
Maryland, yeah.
Baltimore.
Now I tell you, a lot of people that are on Black Power Media. I'm not talking about the host too, but they're from the D.C., Maryland, Virginia area.
Merlin.
Maryland, yeah. And a couple from Baltimore, yeah.
With a potty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maryland is 29% black. Merlin.
Okay.
Merlin.
So concealed carry permit is required for handguns. NA for long guns. I don't know what that's.
Not applicable. That means you ain't having no long guns there. Damn.
I mean, playing that.
Man.
Purchase permit is required for handguns, but not for long guns. So you could.
Oh, I guess you can have them.
Required for handgun qualification license. So you got to have you got to qualify for a handgun permit, and you have to register your handgun, but not your long gun. Handguns and automatic weapons require registration with police. So you can have automatic weapons.
They mean semi-automatic.
They don't even. They don't say semi. That's funny because
not done New York yet. Now I'm sorry.
Wow. Yeah,
automatic weapons.
It's saying this right. It might be a typo, but it says handguns and automatic weapons require.
Well, I can imagine that if you own automatic weapons, you're on some next level, and you better not register with them. So, if we like, we got 550 cows, police.
So that means you can't conceal a long.
We wouldn't walk out of that place unharassed.
Right. That's definitely real. Shit. So permit needed for open carry, yes, for the handgun, no for the long gun. Requires carry permit for handguns, but usually only police and security guards open carry. That's usually, I ain't got to do with that. Background checks are going down for the handguns, and a partial check for long guns. Sales must go through a licensed dealer or police. I don't like this or police thing for everything. Magazine restrictions, yes. Limited to 10 rounds. Possession of higher capacity magazines is legal if purchased out of state. So just go right up the street. You know what I'm saying?
Up the street where? They all strict. You got to go.
They
oh, yeah, Maryland.
Well, DC changed the thing.
Yeah,
buddy.
You have to go to DC soon.
You got to leave Maryland.
So yeah,
I ain't Maryland. Yeah, go to DC.
Go through.
Go to Southeast.
Most local laws are preempted by state law, but there are a few laws that are not. Okay, assault weapon ban, yes, and yes. There's a ban on certain models of firearms in Maryland. So, what they call assault rifles, there is a ban on. So after that, we're moving down to Michigan, which used to be my favorite state.
14% black. Has the largest black city in the United States, which is Detroit. 78.6% black.
Oh, wow. So, yes, there is a handgun permit. There's not for long guns. There's no purchase permit required. If purchaser does not have a carry license and sales is not through a licensed dealer, they will need a permit. So as long as you're going through a licensed dealer, you don't need a purchase permit for any one of them. You got to register your handgun, but not your long gun. But you got to register with the law enforcements. Open carry is allowed for both. Permit requires you can open carry in your vehicle as well if you have a permit. Background checks for private sales are required for the handgun, but not for the long gun. So no magazine restrictions in Michigan. It's a 3-star rating is what they call that. So we're going to move right along to New Hampshire. We're going in alphabetical order here. So that's me.
1% black, New Hampshire.
1% black, you can do anything you want. I ain't got to read it.
All the 1 and 2% black.
Okay, now I'm going to go read it. You do not need a carry permit required. No permits required. No purchase permits required. No registration of your firearms. Open carry is allowed for handguns and long guns. No background checks for either one, and no magazine restrictions.
Man, I had some of my best,
just like it's
one of my best times in New Hampshire with black folk.
Hey,
nice.
You're gonna say all these.
They're probably the only black folk who did it.
You was with that 1%.
1% in New Hampshire. Wow, and
that's crazy.
The gun laws are wide open.
Because I was telling my mother, the brothers and sisters here are real cool.
Because they ready.
I bet.
They were happy to see another black person.
My brother. No, hey, when I went to Ohio and Toledo, it was so many. Okay, I just got to say it what it is. It was so many I didn't see. I was there for 3 weeks, and it wasn't until the last week where I saw a black couple. Everybody.
Well, the number one mixed state though is states with interracial relationships is West Virginia.
Wow. Okay, that's where they got the blue people that inner.
Who they been with? They turn
been with their family. You never heard of blue blood in West Virginia? Anyway, so another story. That's another topic we're gonna go into. So New Jersey, which is it's Negroes in New Jersey. What we got?
Your doctor from New Jersey.
Okay, we got one. Definitely.
His sister, so that's 2. His sister lives there right now, so that's 2.
I'm gonna say 23%. I'm guessing.
No, indeed.
You got from New Jersey?
I say
14%. I remember.
There it is. I say I was close.
13%.
Boom.
Okay. So you need carry permits for both handguns and long guns. Policy is may issue. May. Permits rarely issued to ordinary citizens.
Ordinary.
So you got to be
you got to be white.
Extraordinary.
Extraordinary. Yes.
Newark is the capital. That's one of the largest black cities in the country. 49.5%.
So that's rarely issued to
ordinary people. Right. Rarely issued to ordinary people. That means everybody from Newark. Right. That's all y'all the ordinary.
So purchase permit is required for both handguns and long guns. Handgun, ammunition, rifle, and shotguns require a purchaser ID. You just can't go purchase ammunition. You got to have your your ID card.
This my place right here, boy.
Registration of firearms, yes for the handgun, no.
Hey, plan.
No for the long gun, but then it says registration of firearms is voluntary. That's interesting. I guess because they only giving them to certain people, so
only the extraordinary get it anyway. So
open carry, no for handguns, but you can open carry your long guns. I guess that don't matter.
Man, Ghost just came in. Ghost was upset about these laws.
A carry permit is required for handguns. Background checks on private sales required, yes for handguns, no for long guns. Magazine restrictions, yes, limited to 10 rounds. For semi-automatic, automatic rifles or handguns can only have 6 rounds. And semi-automatic shotgun.
Wow.
Well, you ain't. Papa said it's over. It's over. That's all
right. Automatic weapon to shoot that.
That's it. You better run after that.
6 seconds.
Right.
Wow. That's
second.
That's what you call a 1-star rating state right there. From here we go to New York. And this is a half a star state right here. Is what we call this. Okay, so Carry permit required, yes, for handguns, no for long guns. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Okay.
Yeah. Policy is may issue. Generally, it is harder to obtain a permit closer to big New York City.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
That's what I was gonna say.
We know what they're saying, don't you? Don't you know what they're saying?
And New York State is 15% black.
Yeah, but New York City is more than that.
Where is it here? You can go ahead, Billy. I'll find it.
Purchase permit, yes, you must have one for a handgun, no for a long gun. Outside of New York City, in Nassau County, permits to purchase a handgun are issued by county and state Supreme Court judges. You ain't get
one. No.
You ain't get one.
Right.
So
sorry,
New York
y'all.
is 24.3% black, but that's like
City.
you said, that's the city, and that's not counting people who are black but are allowed to call themselves something else.
Right, of course, in New York.
Right, you guys.
You add the Dominicans, it goes up to 83%.
Right.
So,
Black
Puerto Ricans, right?
99.
It's 99%. So yeah.
So open carry, no handguns, but you can open carry for the long gun. So
And
you can't do that.
Not in the
In New York? That's not in New York
Right.
City. That's upstate, yeah.
Right, but it's illegal to carry an unregistered handgun. Yeah, upstate. You ain't doing that in the small state. Open carry allowed. Did I just say that, or registration? Yeah, that just said that. Background checks, yes, must go through a licensed dealer, and of course you're limited to 10 rounds. So we got 4 more states that we go. So here we go. North Carolina's next. This is my state that I was born and raised in. This is a 4-star state, which I already knew that.
Yeah, of course.
You can carry your handgun. You can carry permit. You need one for the handguns. You don't need one for the long guns. A purchase permit. You need one for the handguns. You don't need one for the long guns. A carry permit or a pistol purchase is what they call it. Is a pistol purchase permit is required. But you don't have to register your firearms. And you can open carry. That's allowed. You don't need a permit to open carry. You got to go through a background for handguns, but not for your long guns. No magazine restrictions in North Carolina. So that's a 4-star state. You pretty good in there.
And 21% black, North Carolina.
And let me say, those open carry states, ask yourself, how many black folk have you seen walking around open carrying? Not many.
It's funny that you say that, because I was also thinking that about the long guns thing. Think about if you have a certain amount of money that you need and you feel like you need a firearm, which one are you going to buy? Are you going to buy the handgun, or are you going to buy a rifle? Which one is going to be more convenient for you to use? And that shows you what's being restricted more. Is the thing that certain people say you live in a city center. What are you going to purchase? Are you going to buy a shotgun, or are you going to get something that you can put in your waistband?
You asking me? All the above, or just yes.
All right, so we had Ohio. Strange state to me. I like it. I like it.
Sorry, Sarita.
13% black, Ohio.
So yes, you need a carry permit for your handguns, not for your long guns. A purchase permit required for you is not required for either one, and you don't have to register either one. You are allowed to open carry. No permit is required, but some restrictions in vehicles and liquor establishments. I'm glad about that. We don't need to be walking in the liquor store strapped. No background checks for private gun sales are required. And there's no magazine.
Private gun sales.
Private gun sales, yeah. So that's also a 4-star. So you good over there.
And I just want to mention Cleveland and Cincinnati are 2 of the largest black cities in the country, and both of those are in Ohio.
Okay, so Pennsylvania, you have to have carry permits for both handguns and long guns. You don't need a purchase permit for either one. You don't need to register either one. You can open carry both, all places except Philadelphia except for Philadelphia where all the Negroes is at.
Right.
You got open carry, or in a vehicle. You can't open carry in your vehicle. Background checks for your handguns, yes. For your long guns, no. But all sales must be made through a licensed dealer or country sheriff's office. Got you. No magazine restriction though, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Next, we going down.
Pennsylvania's 11% black, with Philadelphia being one of the largest black cities in the country, 42.3% black.
All right, next we're going to Rhode Island, where they may issue you a permit. Purchase permit required, yes, for handguns, not for long guns, but you must pass a safety exam and then will be issued a blue card to purchase. So you can't even purchase till you pass a safety exam in Rhode Island. But I don't even think that's a bad idea in some cases. Registration, you don't have to register either firearm, and you can open carry for both. For handguns, only if you have a permit issued by the Attorney General can you open carry. No permit is required for long guns, though. You can open carry your long guns.
The Attorney General is the highest ranking police in a state.
Right. So you got to folks.
Boy.
You do have to have a background check for private gun sales for both, but there are no magazine restrictions. So Rhode Island is 3 stars, kind of funny up in there. Yeah. South Scalachy. So in South Carolina, you would think it'd be as lax as North Carolina, but it isn't. You need a carry permit for your handgun, but not for your long gun. You don't need a purchase permit for either one. You don't need to register either one, but you can't open carry a handgun. You can open carry a long gun, but you don't have to have any background checks, and there's no magazine restriction. So it's still pretty good.
It's 25% black, South Carolina.
They're always a little behind North Carolina. North Carolina, we always look at
maybe that's why they were looking at me and my wife funny in Hilton Head, because we were riding through. I was like,
with your rifles out the air.
I was busting shooting. Yeah,
I probably look at you a little strange.
Yeah, that's probably why they were,
Who is this nigga on the horse? So Vermont, I don't know. I feel like it ain't no black people there.
Oh yeah, Vermont.
You think it's deep?
It's blackity black.
Blacker than black.
Oh my God!
So
Vermont got so many.
I don't think there's no black people in Vermont, and here's why. 1% black. Now look at the.
Oh God! Yeah, I went to Vermont. It was white as hell.
We've seen what 1% black look like. It's the same each time. No carry permits required for either. They has never issued a requirement for gun permits in Vermont. Never in the law. No purchase permits required. No registration. You can open carry both. You do need a background check for private sales, and it must be done through a licensed dealer unless sale is from a family member. You don't have to have no background nothing when you sell them to a family member.
Vermont is so bad, and y'all can do scientific research has proven this. You can be the most revolutionary you want, and the moment you move, you drive into Vermont, you become an Uncle Tom. It's scientifically proven.
It is magazine restrictions. Long guns no more than 10 rounds. Handguns no more than 15 rounds. It's not.
What?
Yeah, I wouldn't think that when everything is so lax.
Right.
That's strange.
I'm surprised.
I am too. So now we
got 4 stars though.
Still got 4 stars. Virginia, and then the last one is going to be I got to.
You did
DC. So Virginia and West Virginia is coming. Somebody asked about West Virginia, so that's coming up. So Virginia is what we're looking at. Huh? So here we go for Virginia. You do have to have a carry permit for your handguns, not for your long guns. You don't need a purchase permit for either. You don't have to register either. You can open carry both. No background check for private sales are required, and no magazine restrictions. So you can you got it going on in Virginia. You can do your thing.
But Tay said she's from Virginia. She saw an older white man go in the local grocery with a handgun on his hip. I went home. You should have drove right down to the gun store yourself. Got one, put it on your hip.
Bigger one.
Right, big one. Y'all equal footing now.
Yeah. So
Sugar Booger's in Ohio. Sorry, Sugar Booger.
The person that asked about West Virginia, 5 stars. You Might as well just talk out loud.
I'm sorry.
No, no, y'all just gonna. They see how they do me when it's time for me.
I know it's cold.
This is the last
Go
state,
ahead.
West Virginia, and it can't be no black people again because you don't need a carry permit for either one. You don't need any purchase permit for either one. You don't have to register. You can open carry both. There's no background check. There's no magazine restrictions. They say you can shoot somebody without asking any questions, basically, is what they're trying to tell you. No, but seriously, so they got the best gun laws. West Virginia is the most loose gun laws. So that's everybody. Those are all states. Use this show as a reference if you need it. You know what I'm saying?
Come back to it.
Yeah, rewind
West Virginia
it.
is 4% black. Virginia is 14% or 19%.
West Virginia is 4%.
Black. I told you that has the highest rate of interracial relationships.
Wow. I
In
guess,
the
yeah,
United-
because
in
if
the
you black
United
and you
States.
there, you're going to have to give it.
But yeah, if you black in there, hey.
Only 4% of us, we can't last.
And if you black and driving to Vermont, you're Uncle Tom anyway. As soon as you die, this is now, Shaky Baby asked, could you give all of your takes on 22 pistols as a CCW? Are 22 pistols reliable in terms of firing when you pull the trigger? Yes. 22 pistols are very reliable. So reliable, in fact. That's what I train children from 6 years old, up, and then some adults who are frightened of a firearm. That's why I train them on 22 pistol, because it has no recoil, because it has very little stopping power. Now, any firearm can kill you. Okay, I love 22 rifles. 22 pistols are okay, but I encountered a gentleman once who some Arabs, he tried to rob a store. Arabs had shot him with a 22 pistol. He's talking to me and he looks sick. I said, "You all right?" "Yeah, I'm fine, man. Just can you drive me to the hospital?" I said, "Drive to the hospital? You say you fine. What's going on?" I said, "I'm not letting you, man. I don't know this man. I'm not letting him in my car. Please, I need help." I said, "What's going on?" "Nothing. I just feel sick, a little sick in my stomach." I said, "So you are sick? What's going on?" "I'm just a little sick." And then the Arabs come out the store, and I'm using Arab because we call it back home. Yeah, we call it the Arab store. But the Arabs come out, and I'm using it because
Arabs.
Yeah.
Why we say Arabs?
Because we really don't tired of them being in our damn neighborhood selling us swine and all that. So we say Arab. So they come out, and I'm using it because. Well, I'm using it because, tired of them being in the neighborhood. To be honest with you, the way they do us, I wouldn't care what they were, but the way they treat us, oh, God. Anyway, so shot this man, and it was weird because he's a Puerto Rican dude in my neighborhood, which was blackity, and he's not a black Puerto Rican either, so he couldn't even fit in. So I'm like, why is he over here and sick? So I look at his arm though, because the way he's doing his arm is funny. Snatch his sleeve up. 22 round. It didn't even fully penetrate. It's making him sick because you got foreign object in your body, but it didn't go into his body. If that had been 38 9mm, it would have gone into his flesh, probably broken his bone in his arm. This hadn't even gone through the muscle, and he wasn't a big muscular dude either. I said, "Damn!" Now I'm sitting there. I said, "That's a 22 round." Yes, somebody tried to rob me, and I'm looking at the Arab dudes. They pointing. They're the ones who shot his ass. But
It's a 22 splinter.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the 22 splinter. Right. So on that, I'm saying that to say 22s are good if you are trained. A lot of special forces operatives, they use a 22. They shoot you in your hip well. It goes in, it hits that hip bone, it bounces around, tears your organs up inside, hits the other bone, tears up more organs. You're incapacitated, hard to move. Okay, so you and your group are moving quickly. That's what that's for. And eventually you'll die if you're out in the field, you'll die from sepsis if they can't get you, to a hospital. So it's good if you're highly trained, but if you're not, it's good for training children with. It's good for shooting squirrels. They call it a squirrel gun. A squirrel is little, little fella. If you say, well, I'm gonna hunt me if things fall down, I'm gonna hunt me a bull with it. I'm gonna hunt me a pig. No, you won't. Pig, that shit will bounce off. You'll be cracking up. Like, oh, thank you for scratching my itch. So, 22. You asked me my take. I'm just giving you my take. For self-defense, you shoot somebody in the face, they're probably gonna expire. Right.
So he's not saying no, Shaky.
So I'm not saying no, but 22 to the chest, that person, they're gonna be hurting. You can get away, but you're not killing them. And maybe that's what you want. But if I pull a gun out of its holster, point it at you, and fire, I'm trying to take your life. That means my life is in danger, and I have to make sure that you cannot do me or those that I care about any harm. So I am trying to take your life. So for me, no. I love 22 rifles because I think in terms of things fall down, I got to give things to my children, to your children. Those aren't for me. For my birthday, I asked them, give me a 22 rifle, and they got me a 22, just so you know. They got me a 22 rifle. Well, they got my wife a 22 rifle. Let me say that. And so that firearm, when we got to make our moves, that goes to Yemi. And Yemi, I say, fire. I let her fire all calibers that I have. And I got some heavier calibers. She was like, I like that 22. Of course, because they ain't got that kick to it. So she fell in love with the 22. My son likes it, but he I like that shotgun. That's an act tough with me, but I like that shotgun, Daddy. But he likes that 22 too. That's why I gave him one as a gift. Okay, so and he's 20. He could kill with that. Yemi could kill with that. She's 13. As they get older, though, I want them to move to AR-15, AK-47, things with some heavier hits, because I'll be relying on them to hit heavy if I got to move a certain way or we got to move a certain way during hard times. Okay. I'm talking, and people say, well, that's not going to. Katrina happened. And there were white dudes who were coming on boats into black neighborhoods taking pot shots. So you shoot them with 22, ow, boom, shoot back. You shoot them with AK-47, they're not shooting back. Not at them, you shoot them. They're not shooting back, more than likely. Okay. So that's my take on the 22. Get you one. If you got children and stuff like that, it's great to go to them. Okay. If you got arthritis, that's good to use because it has no recoil. But if you want to have something with stopping power, at least get yourself a 9mm
design 22 or more powerful. It's still 22.
It's still 22. Right. The latest design 22, why they're more powerful is because they shoot the 22 long rifle rounds. Right. That's still long rifle. So you can get that, or you can get you a rifle and be more accurate and all that. A 22 rifle, or you can, so that's still a 22. That won't just stick right there. That will tear your ass up. Now, if you think you just need a little bit more gunpowder, the AR-15 shoots two. There are two types of rounds for AR-15s. You have two types of AR-15s. You got the one that shoots .223. That's .223. But that 3 at the end of that .22 make a big difference. And then you got the .556 AR-15. That hits heavier. Okay. But that's up to you. But the 223 is good. If you're gonna get a 2.2, get a 2.23. That means AR-15. But if you want a pistol, that 22 long rifle pistol is nice, but that mug is expensive. Just so you know, that ain't cheap.
Who you gonna share shells? Who you gonna when time to buy?
And right, who you gonna share shells with? right?
Thanks.
I can share shells with somebody that's got a 9. I can share shells with somebody that's got I can share it with a 22, but I can share shells with somebody that's got 357. I can share shells with somebody got a 45. I say, here's shells for your 380, which is a 38, by the way. I can share shells with, different 20 gauge, 410 bore, 20 gauge shotgun. I could name it. I can well, not don't name it. You may say, well, what about a 50 cal? That's another birthday gift that you can give me. But anything under the 50 cal, I probably have a firearm that shoots within that.
She said things. I asked because people have 40 cows, and in a situation where things happen fast, I know they're going to shoot everyone but the one they're aiming at.
Well, that goes back to training.
Yep.
You got to train that firearm, because the 40 is good. It's not my favorite, but 40 is a good tool too.
You don't need a 50 caliber pistol.
And if you go into millimeters instead of calibers, the 38, 9mm pretty much the same. Okay. The 40 and the 10mm are pretty much the same.
About the 41.
The 41 is old. That's a 6-shooter pistol. And that shoots 41 ball. And you ain't sharing that with nobody. That's just a 41 ball. Unless you say, yeah, I got one too, boy. And then y'all sharing the 41. That's old 6-shooter, real 6-shooter pistol. That's 41 ball. See, you like to try to ask me stuff, see if I,
I found one in the roof
if I know what I'm talking
complex
about.
one day.
What?
Yep. It was I was fixing something on the roof,
You
and
still
there
got
was one in the shoebox. No, I put them on, go right back in the shoebox wherever it was.
Okay.
After a couple more, I finally put it back where I got it from.
Yeah, because when I find that 50 caliber just sitting up on the roof, I'm gonna put it back. Yeah. Now, if I just find a 50 caliber sitting on the roof and it's near me, I'm scared. Somebody's trying to get my ass.
Okay, last question before we leave out of here. What is a reliable or AR-15 brand? Do you suggest build your own or buy a complete one?
Okay.
Y'all got to stop these questions, but I would know all the stuff.
Yeah, so I suggest both. A build is cheaper.
Good question.
A build is cheaper. Okay. So you can build your own, but know what you're doing. You say, I'm by the upper, I'm by the lower, just stick them together and I'm good. It ain't just sticking together. You got to know what you're doing. Okay. So, but if you know somebody who knows, then yeah, have it built. They may charge you more though for the labor. You can buy AR-15, $800. They used to be cheap. You can get $500 back in the day, a few years ago. But now they've upped them mugs. You can get them for $800.
What's a good brand? You say?
I don't say as far as a good brand. I really can't say a specific brand. I won't do that
because y'all ain't paying.
But because I'm not trying to give them. I'm not trying to give you a donate. But I'm not trying to give them.
That's what I mean.
Any credit.
Root ain't sponsoring that.
Oh, now they sponsor me. I'll be like all day. But there is. I will say this. Look up African-owned. And the only reason I'm not giving his name, well, I won't say why I'm not giving his name. It's a certain personality thing with him. I don't think he's that much for a black folk, even though he's a continental African. But I don't think he's that much for black folk. But I used to send people to get firearms from him to get AR-15s. It's an African continental. We all Africans. It's a continental African who lives in America though. I think he's originally from Ghana. He builds AR-15, makes them. He has a manufacturing company, and they are some of the best, if not the best, AR-15. I will say this because I'm gonna tell you, on the market. The only reason I won't say his name is because he was in an interview and he said some things that is politics I can't rock with. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
Cool.
Can an African do raccoons live in Africa?
That's a good question.
He lives here,
right? Well, that's true, but he was probably that while he was there. So we got to find some a duiker. He was a duiker there.
We
A duiker is a deer. I don't know a raccoon analog in Africa.
You can bojangle wherever you're from, though.
But now, yeah, he's a boj. Yeah, now he is a bojangler. He be bojangling. All right, so, but that he's brilliant with making his firearm. You know, my wife, always positive when it comes to black folks. She says, he's probably just doing it as an act to make sales.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then he's a capitalist because I'm not going to put on an act to make sales.
Right. Not that kind of
Not that kind of act. I may put, hey, Johnny, nice to see you. Get your ass out of here, Johnny, once he leave. But I'm not going to be.
Does
Hey, Trump, go Trump.
Does Ogunbakin build ARs?
Don't do that.
I don't know.
Ogunbakin, if he's watching, Ogunbakin, he promised to make someone special to us shotgun automatic. That dude's shotgun doesn't work to this day.
Oh,
so we love Bakin. But Bakin does not know how to make.
Pardon self, I didn't know that you did that. Hey. But he's a good brother. We love
he's a good brother.
He's
He's great with firearms.
And so people might end up having him on here because when it comes to the go bag,
he's an assistant instructor, ain't he?
Yeah, he does.
Now we'll probably have Bakin on here because Bakin sells go bags.
We will tease him about this exact same thing.
And yes, we will tease him about this.
We'll talk about
same
behind your back when we're gonna talk about you. We're gonna laugh at you with you too.
So and we'll bring the person on whose shotgun he jacked up.
We bring them both.
He can tell the full story. Yeah, we have both
and
on
both
here.
have their time on the warrior.
Right.
Warrior gossip.
Warrior class court.
the one with the shotgun. The only thing I'll say about him, what you all may have seen him before, is he drinks tea and he eats crumpets. And that's all I'll say. All right. So love y'all. And if you don't know who that is, look back at the episodes and you'll figure out who it is.
You definitely figure out
who got his shotgun jacked up. All right.
He doesn't say tease when he pronounces stuff. It doesn't matter what the word is. He's not gonna put the tease.
Right. You know, you messed up my shotgun. So, all right, y'all. Love y'all. Stay black or whatever you are. We will see y'all next week. Peace.
Respect and protection.
My people from Belzoni, shaky baby.
Yeah. Shaky. All right. Now maybe it's shaky, but it's shaky. It's shaky. All right. He's shaky. He or she said they get it about the 22. It hit home good. All right, y'all.
Spread the show. Tell them about us.
Yes.
Every Saturday we here.
And they're just gonna get better, content wise and technical. Y'all see, we didn't have no technical difficulties today.
I don't think so. It was a little blackout, but that wasn't us.
Yeah, that wasn't us.
That was folks on.
Man, I forgot the name now. I forgot it. Bloop, whatever it is.
We'll go back and see that new verb that he made us.
Yeah. Look back at the new verb. I gotta look at it. All right, because I'm gonna use that. All right, love y'all.
Love y'all, fam.
Peace.
Oh,